wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement.
Guys, what's going on? John Anthony, Chair Shot Sports, man. Welcome back. It's been a minute. Obviously, we have taken a little bit of time after last year, a little bit of time at the beginning of the year, but we are back. Not necessarily week to week, but man, I had to come in here. The NXT Rewind needed to happen tonight. What an episode. Obviously, there is the word of the day is change, and it is in the air. Whether you want to talk about what's going on in the main roster, you hear the rumors, you hear the rumblings of everything being stagnant, Mania being predictable, the shows being predictable, people not tuning in, not wanting to see what's going on. But now, obviously, with NXT doing monster ratings on the CW every week, climbing, getting a good part of the demographic, doing what they got to do, getting it done. Um, Man, wow, what a show tonight. Um, so yeah, like I said, I want to sit here and bore everybody and born everybody. See what I did there? But hell, obviously, this is a definitely tonight's show was a statement. Obviously, we have Stone in charge doing his thing. What's going on, Chris? Thanks so much for jumping in. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for taking the time. It's going pretty good, man. Going pretty good. Loving life. Everything's going great, man. With the gym a little earlier, feeling good. Like I said, got home, watched NXT, and was like, man, there's no reason not to jump in front of this microphone and this camera to talk about what was going on. So I mean, let's jump right at the top, man. Obviously, the NXT Tag Championships are on the line. Swipe right from obviously Vanity Project, who hang out with Jackson Drake. I'm telling you, man, that those guys are up and coming. Jackson reminds me a lot of a young Randy Orton. He really does. I'm telling you, he's got a great look. He's great on the mic. Does awesome stuff. And obviously a great champion right now for the men's division in Evolve. But more so, let's talk about Smokes and Baylor right now, taking on Dark State. Dark State's had those belts for a while now. Obviously, kind of doing the Freebird rule when they defend their tag team championships. Everyone getting involved, everyone doing what they got to do to keep those titles in the Dark State group. But tonight was just not the night. Osiris and Saquon did everything they could to get it done, and obviously Drake tries to get a little bit of help there. That's kind of the catalyst to everything to the end of the match. Throws the foot up on the top rope. I'm sorry, on the bottom rope. Um, Obviously, everyone starts getting involved. Dark State's like, "What's going on? What are we doing?" Everyone starts kind of making their way to the back. What you don't see is Saquon get dropped by the one Tony D, who has said he's coming for each one of them and taking everything that Dark State has, just like they took from him, and drops him with a choke slam on the apron, rolls him in, um, rolls Baylor in there, gets the 1, 2, 3, and man, Vanity Project, Swipe Right, all holding some gold. NXT Tag Champions. Obviously, Drake is your Evolve Men's Champion. Great stuff. Now this to me, I'm going to talk about this at the end and kind of wrap up the entire episode for me. This happened. I said, okay, kind of makes sense. Dark State, maybe. I'm not saying they need to break up anytime soon because I think they're a great collective. All four of them have great personalities. They really complement each other. They're feeding off each other, and they do a great job every week of no matter who it is, whether it's Suge, whether it's Osiris, whoever it is, um, they're going to go and get their own singles done. They'll say, "Listen, I got this guy tonight. You guys hang in the back." Do they hang in the back? Probably not, but they're like, "Listen, I'm gonna handle this. I got this. We'll do what we gotta do. I'll do what I gotta do." And they do it individually, but still as a unit, if that makes sense. So definitely a breaking up is definitely not in the cards. They definitely need to bring them up together, whether on the red brand or the blue brand. Gotta bring them up. Gotta get them up there. I'm not saying this is the catalyst to that, but I'll wrap all that up what this episode means to someone like me who watches the product, sees what's going on. Obviously, I have my own feelings on the creative, where we're at right now, on a very dismal road to WrestleMania as of right now. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Then of course we had a little couple other matches thrown in here, not to like not give them their just desserts, but obviously some good matches, but matches I kind of think we all knew what was going to happen at the end. Sean Legacy obviously comes out, does his thing, taking on Keanu Carver. Carver is just on a tear. When it's his time and it's time for this guy to go for the NXT championship, and obviously Oba did a great job, but Carver is really got to get it done and make his statement and make his name known on the NXT brand before again making his way up. I, for one, like the new NXT roster. Obviously, they did a quick dump, all the people up there as we talk a little lower, as we get lower on the card. Some people I think that might be moving up sooner than later also after tonight's episode. Um, but Carver gets the win here. Was a foregone conclusion. Again, love Sean Legacy. Came up from Evolve quick, got to NXT. Obviously, definitely a quick fill. Gives me some Joe Hendry vibes. Um, I just not not gimmick wise, just gives me that baby face. You know, here for the crowd, sells it to him, gets the people going. Everyone's chanting, everyone's loving it. Gives me a little bit of Joe Hendry vibes. So I think until Joe Hendry kind of makes his way up to Raw or SmackDown, I think Sean might be a little held down a little bit, but he's doing a great job. And Legacy is going to be a name you're going to hear for months and years to come in the company. And then, okay, then we get to the first ever speed triple threat match. This one was 7 minutes. Don't know how I feel about that. I feel like it should have been contested a little lower, maybe 5 minutes. Seven's a little much. Kind of dragged on a little bit. 5 minutes, keep it quick. Stay with the process of speed, the speed rules, and the concept of everything. Eli Knight, Elio LaFleur, Jasper Troy. I'm a huge LaFleur fan. Excuse me, tongue twister on that one. Big fan of his when he debuted. I like the lucha gimmick. I like that. Bringing it from France, obviously, and the Indies, what he's done overseas and what he's done before coming to and landing with WWE and NXT. Great match. Great match. I love the ending. You thought it was going to go Eli's way, but literally, my man's momentum carries him to the turnbuckle. Elio gets compromises. I'm sorry, capitalizes, gets the 1, 2, 3, becomes the new speed champion. I like this. The speed champion is definitely, some people compare it to the 24/7 title, not really being relevant, things like that. I like it because you get to be a champion. You got to go out there, you got to defend. I think they have tournaments run what, 2 weeks between NXT doing other things with use of that main event. So you're defending the belt every 2, maybe 3 weeks. You're on TV a lot. People just want a speed match. Let's go. Boom, 3 minutes. Let's go. Let's see what you got. I like it. I like the concept. I like they kept it at NXT. Didn't get rid of it, so I like that. I like that about it. Belt's got a cool design. Uh, not against what Ricochet talked about it, but hey, it's a belt, it's a championship, and not for nothing. At the end of the day, it's developmental. It's a developmental brand. These guys learn to have a strap on them, what it means to have a champion, how you got to work as chasing the belt, and then what happens, how you work once you are the champion. And that's the biggest thing for me, what these kids are learning, and that's a big thing when you can see that with some of them coming up into Raw, into SmackDown. You're gonna see that the chase is more, but then they understand once you get that belt, now you got the target on your back. Now you need to defend it and keep that energy, keep it going, but now in a different way of deflecting it back to your challenger. So I say all that. Elio LaFleur, your new speed champion. I think this is great for him. I think he's going to be a great character. Um, Once he does make a call up, I feel like he'd be good on the blue brand. Just for me, who's over there right now. Um, you know, I think there's going to be a huge draft coming. Our weekend wrestling show is going to be launching in a week or two. We're going to talk about that. I think this draft coming up is going to be something monumental. The way I kind of think with ESPN included, and just a lot of these networks looking at ratings and seeing how like CW, SmackDown is tanking. Raw, Netflix is obviously Netflix. CW is starting to rise. You don't want to screw that up for CW and start taking people away. But on the other hand, you have some people that got called up real quick from NXT on SmackDown and Raw. So maybe figure out where they go in different places. But regardless, we'll talk about that on our weekend wrestling show. But I think the draft coming up is going to be one for the ages and something that will definitely, actually, not just in hyperbole, but shake the foundation of the WWE and the three brands that surround it. Um, and then obviously, I did like was they were just moving through the show here and there. They did the vignettes of the Joe Hendry Chronicle. I like that. I definitely like that. I think a lot of people they think is a meme. If you watch TNA like I do and did and do, I should say. Yes, was he is he a guy who turns around, does the smile? Is he a meme? You clap, say his name, and he appears, all that stuff. But I think now you need to treat him as the legitimate champion that he was. Champion in TNA, not the greatest run in TNA, just because who they booked them against and kind of how they booked those matches. So I mean, but it was a good run for him that start as a champion. I think he needed that before. You got to crawl before you can walk, walk before you can run. I think he needed that. Winning one, defending it, losing it, and then rebounding back, having the mania moment against Randy Orton. Learning how to lose like that on a big stage. Obviously, yes, the lights are bright, but learning how to lose like that and still capitalize on an L. Finally winning, obviously, the NXT Championship in the ladder match a couple weeks ago. Um, I think now is the time a lot of fans and I bet people who are tuning into the CW right now. And they go, "Who is this Joe Hendry character?" It's not the Obafemis. It's not Ethan Page. It's not these names you might hear from other companies or something that's homebred. It's Joe Hendry. That's a guy that you clap for. That's him. But this is why. This is his story. These are his roots, and this is how we got here. I think it was very well done. It was good to see that they're like putting behind him the history and what it doesn't just putting the strap on him because people like to clap and he gets people to cheer when he comes out. It made sense, and it was a climb for him getting there, and he got it done. Um, that so I love how they intertwined that the whole episode. That was great. The Sol Ruka JCJ match. I knew this was coming. I think we all knew this was coming. In every prediction, I think for the past 6, 7 months, Sol Ruka was in a match, either going for a belt, you know, defending her belt all the time. I was the guy at the end going, "Well, Zaria's there. I'm just waiting for her. This is the day. This is the month. This is the time. This is the PLE." It never came to fruition. And just the fact that everyone was losing their belts. I'm like, okay, somebody. Once I saw those two start, I went, wait a minute, we still have two more. I'm like, wait, there's no way all four are losing their belts tonight. There's got to be somebody. There was Zarya in there, and I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe this is 'cause Ethan Page and Bourne. I'm like, again, I'll talk about it at the end. I'm like, this might be it for Ethan getting closer to again Vengeance Day and getting close to Stand and Deliver, which is their WrestleMania, where you see the flips, you see the draft call ups. I was like, man, this JC's got to retain, right? And I thought again, somehow Zarya. I did not think it was going to be blatantly before the match, spear, beat the hell out of you, then go, hey, go ahead, go win the match. It just takes obviously the rolling encore from JC 1, 2, 3, and that's it. And then Zarya obviously looks like she now has adopted the F5 or some version of it. Very well done onto the announcer's table and just tells her to snatch that soul bitch and just gives her a kiss on the cheek. And that's it. Um, that's it. Zolruk and Zarya are done, baby. It's about time. Um, I like I don't think it might have played out a little too much than it needed to, but they got the job done. They did the teases, they get back together. No, I love you. No, okay, okay, I love you. I respect you. No, 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 I'll do this for you. I'll help you. They did a great job with all that and making it make sense. They had to pull the trigger again. Goes back to the stagnancy of now NXT seems to be the what just happened? You can't tell me people who were not watching NXT tonight, whether you're watching the State of the Union, Super Tuesday, watching a whole bunch of other sports, but you casually watch NXT. You cannot tell me scrolling on Twitter, you're like, wait, what? All you keep seeing is and new, and new, and new. Like, what is going on? I can't wait to see what the ratings are. By the time they got to the main event of Page and Bourne, I'd love to see what the ratings end up being tomorrow when everything gets shakes out. Um, Close to 750,000 could make some sense. Um, Awesome. So, and then in the middle of all that, obviously we get Tatum Paxley, Izzy Dame going back and forth. That women's North American title is going to be defended, as we found out at We're going to talk about it, but I can tell you it's going to be defended at Vengeance Day between the two of them. We also found out we're going to get NXT Underground, which I'm so pumped for. So pumped for. Kalani, Lola Vice, Underground, Dirty. Let's go. I think this is where Lola finally gets her pound of flesh back, gets that win. Obviously, probably kicking the hell out of her, hitting the spinning back fist and getting a 1, 2, 3 on Kalani. But again, that match is going to be awesome. I love the way it's designed, the way they do the whole setup. It's great. Um, Throw in a little Blake Monroe, Thea Hale. Throw that into there. And again, this is weird for me with Blake Monroe. I'm not going to be one to crap on it. I was a big fan of her in AEW. Um, Big fan of her what she's doing in NXT once she does get the call up. But again, not for nothing. And say what you want, whatever company you like, or you like both, which is cool too. Just like Jade, just like a couple other folks that came, male or female, got to learn the WWE way. AEW is a different wrestling style, which is great, which is awesome. I'm not saying it's the flippy floppy stuff. I'm saying it's a different style how they present their stories and how they do their presentation of matches. WWE, way different, way different. Just ask the people. Just ask Jay Cargill. Just ask Jade. She can tell you it's not the same. And you know what? That's great because you don't want the same if you're watching Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays, or if you're watching on Wednesday and Saturdays. Either way, hey, it is what it is. Whatever floats your boat, baby. And again, it's like ice cream. You don't like vanilla, have some chocolate. You don't like that, have some strawberry, or you can be like a lot of other people and just have all three. Um, so Blake Monroe going down for the speed championship, I get it. Women's title, little crowded right now. We got the Blake thing going on. I mean, I'm sorry, we have the JC Jane thing going on. Zaria's gonna want her chance. JC for me, I don't think Soul, I'm sure, is gonna want to get a shot back. But again, we're gonna talk about it later. Some of these people won't be here in another 2 months. They're going to be pulling triggers somewhere. Could be Soul, could be JC. JC, I know they tried bringing her up, brought her back down. It's working. Fatal Influence is working, and I don't know if it's going to transcend into the red or blue brand. It kind of didn't really the first time when they tried to do that with her. It hasn't really been the same since Sax left. But hopefully, hopefully they can figure it out with her because JC I'm not a big I wasn't a huge fan of her. She's growing on me. The mic skills were it for me. That I just wasn't really too impressed. In the ring, she was a little sloppy, little five moves of doom kind of thing. Same kind of stuff. Sets up the rolling thunder. I'm sorry, the rolling encore. Always gets the help from the rest of the group. Not really winning a lot of singles matches. Um, so that'll be cool to see. We'll talk about that a little bit after we get through the rest of the card. Thea Hale gets the win here, obviously with the assist from Miss Parker. Um, Jada Parker makes an appearance, costs Blake. Boom, Thea gets that win over her, gets another win, moves on for the women's speed championship. Um, Uriah Connors and Kale Dixon waiting for this. I like the Burn Bright group. I like it. I think all four of those wrestlers needed an identity. You had to start here, and this is kind of where they put to get on their pedestal, get on their high horse. So they deserve this. They earned it. Like if you notice, every one of them have been. I'm my own person. Ariana, don't care who my dad is. Lexus, especially. Like screw what my dad did, man. I'm my own guy. I got my own path. Same thing with Uriah. Same thing with Stacks. And now they've all leaned into it. Like, no, you know what? Screw this. Like, this is actually what we're supposed to be doing. We're here because of our fathers, because of our family. Let's go. Let's do this. Um, I think this faction is gonna do a lot of good stuff. And I can see them again running things. If Dark State does get a call up, I could see them kind of sliding them in as a new faction and Dark State kind of ascending either to Raw or SmackDown. Uriah showed up, man. Awesome, awesome match. I was really looking forward to this. Fit Finley was out here pumping up the match too on X and on social media all day today, man. Awesome, awesome stuff. Um, great match. I just, really getting sick of Chase. You just getting beat up all the time. I get it. Just sucks. Like a big Chase U guy. I mean, I just love Chase. Love Andre Chase, man. Um, but just it's again, it's kind of they killed it, brought it back. And I don't know if they're just keeping Andre around. Like have these two guys with him, like the two lone, scholars. Um, but yeah, Connors definitely showed up tonight. Great match, and I'm excited to see what's going to come out of that group. Out of the four of them, again, having each other's backs, helping each other out, where exactly they could go. And I can definitely see some tag team gold in their future as we move on. So, last but certainly not least, we got to get to the main event. Ethan Page, Miles Bourne, the men's North American title. Ethan has dodged, dipped, ducked, and dodged and ducked again from Miles. Doesn't deserve it. You don't deserve it. You can't win it. You don't know what you're doing. Finally gets his shot. Stone gives it to him. He earns it. Gets in that ring. Main event time, baby. What a match. Before we get into all the tomfoolery and all the nefarious stuff that happened at the end, what a match. I'm not one to get on here and talk about whatever show I'm doing, whatever we're talking about, whether it's AEW, WWE, whatever. I'm not one to use the word fumble. Okay. Some people that have good creative for you, you win somewhere else. There you go. It's happened from guys from here to the Fed over to AEW. It's happened the other way around from AEW over to WWE, right? Um, Ethan Page definitely needed the change of scenery. Will it show that Ricky Saints needed the change of scenery? It might. It might. But Ethan needed NXT. He needed WWE. No, it's not a slight on AEW. No, it's not a slight on Tony Khan. So save the comments, save all that crap. Probably one of the least tribalistic channels that you'll find here. I cover all of it. I watch all of it. Hell, I sit here. I'm ordering Revolution. I'm watching Saturday Night Main Event. Like, what are we doing? Like, I'm so listen. Watch it all, take it all in, digest it all, and fill my plate up with a lot of wrestling. So, but Ethan Page has done phenomenal things as a character for NXT with that belt. Like, talk about making the United not that it wasn't it before, but the North American Championship um, is now at such a more prestigious level. And that takes nothing away from anyone else that held it. Anybody else. Oba, um, anybody else. Um, Nothing against Keith Lee. Nobody. Um, but man, what Ethan has done, the whole Canadian thing, and just amazing stuff. But the matches, I say all that, the match was great. Loved it. Obviously, towards the end, we get a lot of people coming in. Swipe Right comes down. Everybody, obviously, from the Vanity Project. Here comes Hank and Tank to kind of take care of them and get them out of the way. Um, Ricky Saints, he's trying to get up. He's about to do some damage over to Bourne. No, no, no. There's Joe Hendry making an appearance tonight, taking care of Ricky. Get Saints out of there. Now it's right down again to Page, to Bourne. Page is going to go for the Razor's Edge. Then goes for a twisted grin again. He ends up eating the turnbuckle. Bourne with the Bourne again. 1, 2, 3, and new men's North American champion, Miles Bourne. What a match. What a match. What an episode. What a night. Tonight, it had to have been written somewhere on a whiteboard in the back when they were going over what they're gonna do tonight, talking to the talent. In big bold letters, written in big black marker, a big red crayon, had to have been change. Tonight said a lot to me as someone who watches the product. Again, they can tell you in Unreal and in tweets and in interviews, they can tell you they don't listen. They don't listen to the internet. They don't hear the internet. Yes, you do. Y'all got burners. Y'all got them. TK had them. Trips got them. Everybody's got one. Nick Khan's got one. Everyone's got one. Nowadays, you got to keep your finger on the pulse. And the only way to do that is to be immersed and have your head so far in that sand like an ostrich and just immerse yourself and listen to what the community is saying. Granted, there's a lot of trolls out there, but there are genuine fans who are like, what? Why are you doing this? Now what we want. Now we're doing. Tomorrow night, we're going to talk about that a little bit more. Myself and Matt Trigger, we're going to be jumping on here for our Elimination Chamber prediction show. Might have a special guest or two. Still waiting on confirmation for that. Yeah, we're going to come in here. We're going to talk about that. And my picks for tomorrow night, for Saturday night, are off the chain. And you're going to look at me and go, what? Why would you even? But the reason I have behind it makes 110% perfect sense. But again, we're going to talk about that tomorrow night. Myself and Matt Trigger again at 7:30 Eastern time tomorrow on YouTube and here on X as well. But again, we have Miles Bourne walking out, your new men's North American champion. We have Elio LaFleur walking out, your new men's speed champion, and then you have Swipe Right, part of the Vanity Project, walking out your new tag team champions in the men's division. So yes, JC Jane did, but did JC Jane really retain? Did she? It wasn't really her. But again, you couldn't have a clean sweep. Somebody here had to take it. But you also had to do it now with something on the line. The stakes are high, and Zarya costing her the match. Finally, God, after like 6 months of predictions for this, now it happens. So, this episode told me that everyone's listening. I say all the things about burners and the executives of all the companies listen. Even Carlos Silva over here at TNA, he's listening to. You don't think he's listening to? He's got people to answer to at AMC. AMC's listening too. So listen, tonight told me that on a very, I want to say, I don't know, what's going on? How we doing? Oh, it was a very very successful defense. I get that. It was good. I mean, it, okay, I'll give you that. She defended it, but eh, come on, man. That match, what one rolling encore? When you already picking up the scraps? But again, that's what JC Jane does best, man. She's a great heel. She feeds off of the heat. She, like I said, she's gotten so much better on the mic, leaning into it. Does a great job. Um, but for me, again, lackluster road to WrestleMania. You've heard the ticket sales stuff, all this other crap, whatever. WWE has become predictable. It has. I'm sorry. Um, there's no way I should be able to sit here and go and do a card and go 5-1 or like looking at AEW and go 6-1. Like you shouldn't be doing that. You always want to get people on their toes and keep them guessing. I'm not saying just do title changes for just any kind of reason. That's when you get kind of stupid and just you're leaning too much into the fans. Make it make sense. Make it part of the storyline. Um, but Yeah, exactly. The predictability is just it's there. And again, it's always been there. We've all known, right? Like when Austin takes on Rock, it's his last yes, obviously the Rock's finally gonna get his lick back and he's gonna win. But things like this going into Mania, when I say it's a little lackluster, I'm just like I'm not really feeling very oozy. All right. I'm pumped. For those that don't know, how I don't watch the show regularly, know I've been doing them weekly anymore or daily. I have the privilege. I'm going to WrestleMania. I'll be there for night 1 and 2. Going to Vegas. Pumped, man. So excited. Already got the hotel booked, got the flight booked. We're ready to go. So pumped. Um, Punk and Reigns, great match. What do we got? We got Liv and Stephanie Vicaire, great match. The rest is going to start to shake out. I have my own predictions about what's going on. We're going to talk a lot about that tomorrow night on the Elimination Chamber prediction show, kind of where these chambers and where these matches lead into in regards to Mania. As it's the last PLE on the road to WrestleMania. And then that's it. We're on the road and we're hitting for that Vegas exit. So again, let me get back to tonight. What these changes tell me is that there's going to be some call ups coming. I think Ethan Page, Dark State, a JC Jane. Maybe it's time for Sol Ruca, who, when she has been on the main roster, even at Saturday night's main event in DC when I was there for Cena's last match, um, the pop was awesome. Everyone loves the Soul Snatcher, but again, she's not just like an entrance. She's not just a finisher. Just like Stephanie Vicaire isn't just the Devil's Kiss. She can wrestle. She's great at what she does. Sol Ruca has that whole package, and the pops that she gets at live events. I mean, even after when the cameras are off, going away, like the fans love her. A lot of people, I think, on this roster right now are not going to be here. Um, Ricky Saints, I don't think gets that title back. I think he gets called up. Ethan Page gets called up. Sol Ruca, JC Jane. I think Zarya stays down for a little bit longer, kind of doing some work now that Sol Ruca's not there. And then you have, the Elite, the Fleurs, the Knights, the Jasper Troys. Um, and again, not even to take all of that. Look at someone like Tony D, who interferes. Obviously, him and Darce, they have some unfinished business, but Tony D hasn't even scratched the surface. Um, scratched the surface of what he can be. Now that he's on his own, I like the new persona. It's almost like it gives me it's giving me Punisher vibes, like Punisher vibes. Like had his family was taken away from him, pretty much killed off. Right, everyone's gone. All the other characters have taken on new. Stax is gone. Everyone else is taking on new personas, whether it be in house shows or on TV. So, again, Tony D too. Like he could end up being the face down the road in another 6 to 10 months. But the thing is, it's not like you're stuck in NXT and I'm stuck on developmental. I'm not in the big leagues. NXT is now a legitimate third brand on CW and pulling some serious ratings, and people are excited. People are very, very excited to watch this show on every Tuesday night. And so when I real quick to just touch on the draft, what I think is going to happen. I think The only way to really make this, I mean, we all, if you've watched the WWE Raw versus SmackDown with brand split ever since that happened, except for maybe the first 2 drafts, it's all predictable. John Cena gets drafted, by next Friday, Batista's getting drafted over there with both the belts are gonna change. That 2 belts are gonna sit on SmackDown or Raw, right? The Intercontinental Championship moves, the US Championship moves, right? One guy of a faction moves, the other guy usually moves. Then they started taking part of the faction, leaving one guy by himself to play that kind of storyline. I think what you're gonna see is you need to have some kind of unpredictability where I think the champions know, okay, listen, we might switch this title here, this title here. That doesn't really make sense. They've done it a couple times. It became the undisputed championship with things like that. I like the titles staying where they are. Raw fits for the world heavyweight. SmackDown fits for the WWE championship. Um, so, um, but with ESPN involved, you can have yourselves a crazy, crazy draft. Hold it somewhere. Make it a draft night. Like I don't want to see Raw. I don't want to see SmackDown. Make it a Saturday night. ESPN, no UFC. Do something wild. Pick a random June night and pump this crap up. You have all the announcers. You got Booker T. You got Vic. You got everybody. You got Corey, Cole. You got everybody lined up, all doing their commentary, all giving their analysis as commentators and as people who watch these guys. Go down that road, but make it legit. Obviously, some people are going to know where they're going, but NXT needs to be in play. I'm not saying I want that Cody Rhodes is going to get drafted down to Tuesday nights, right? But if you're CW and there's a draft, you've got to be sitting here with like your hand up and going, "Yo, we get we're developmental, but like you literally just took all these guys and Ethan's gone and this guy's gone. You got to throw some top tier mid carders down to Tuesdays to have a reason for people to tune in. You start doing something like that, like I'm, you know, uh, dude, and it's tough too because there's so many people up there dragging out like Mello. You have a lot of NXT, ex NXT people who maybe they make their way back down. Maybe they do. Who knows? What it's tough, but it's tough to imagine. You're like, well, how are you gonna see Dom Mysterio on Tuesday nights? Because that's what you need to do. You want to make it a legit third brand. You and get some ratings and have the kind of some of the vets go down there and kind of tussle around with some of these kids. Make it make sense. Bring a couple rookies up. Bring someone from Evolve up, man. Like shake it up. That is the only way that it gets better and people get very reinvested in everything. And creative, listen, Paul, I know you hear it from people like JD, you hear it from everyone Meltzer. And listen, man, you got to take the gloves off sometimes. You just got to take some damn chances, man. Like I like the elimination chamber. You're throwing some people in there that no one thought was going to be in there. Um, for the men's and the women's. I like how Trick is already in there. Um, it's just you got to be unpredictable. And again, I think the people who win the matches Saturday night are going to be I think a little different than what people think it's going to go. Everyone think it's a very cookie cutter. They got their 2 winners. Well, if this person's going to go for this person, and this girl obviously is going to go for this one. I don't know, man. With ticket sales stalling, WrestleMania stagnant. They're not showing the damn show around the damn arena so people will buy tickets and go. They need to shake it up. And obviously injuries, everything, you name it, everything is piling up right now. And if this was any time, if there was any time before WrestleMania 40, 41, you were going to pivot. Now is the time. Now is the time to pivot. And I cannot wait another 6 months to see that Unreal season come out and hear what the hell happened on the road to this WrestleMania because there are people sweating their balls off at that table that they show every season with that big ass whiteboard behind them. And they're just someone with a big ass eraser. Nope, we're not doing any of this shit. We're gonna run this and we're gonna just do it off the seat of our pants. Let's just go with it. Again, I'm not saying throw random matches together. That sucks too. AEW does that sometimes. Is it entertaining? Absolutely. But WWE does the story aspect of things. You need to have some kind of story. Because without it, not the best. Especially WrestleMania. You want to throw a backlash match together. You want to throw a bad blood. No mercy. You name Money in the Bank. I don't care. WrestleMania. I need some. I need some meat with those potatoes, man. I need some steak. I need something to really put my teeth into it and watch this and be like, damn, this is what this is. And they used to do that back in the day with the Rumble. If someone would come out again with the brand extension, someone from Raw would come out and eliminate someone from SmackDown just because some kind of rivalry, and then they ended up inter-brand matches and stuff like that. So again, we're gonna talk a lot about that tomorrow night on the Elimination Chamber, and obviously our weekend wrestling shows will be coming out every Wednesday in a couple weeks, probably sometime middle of March. So stay tuned for that as well. To X for any updates on that. So also, last thing I want to talk about. First of all, thank you to everyone who tuned in. Again, quick show. Had to jump in here, man. Had to get back into it and talk about it, man. What an episode. I think NXT is off to the races with what happened tonight. And I think we're in for some great new rivalries. Again, some people will probably be leaving, heading out as we look at Stand and Deliver in out in that distance coming up on the last, I guess, pit stop or rest stop, if you will, before we get to Mania. Um, so, with that being said, I do want to mention one time if you have not seen our X, first of all, do me a favor, go follow us over on YouTube and on X at Chairshot Sports. You'll find all our videos, prediction shows, things of that nature. Some great interviews. Dijak, a whole bunch of people, Layla L. Good times, man. I do want to let everyone know if you haven't been over there and checked out our pin tweet, we are giving away not one, not two, not three, but all 4 editions of the new 2K 26 wrestling game that's going to be doing early access the end of next week. Um, I'm sorry, the beginning of the week after next, the beginning, whenever it is. The contest runs from tonight, goes till next Tuesday. As soon as NXT concludes, everything's closed. Uh, we will pick a winner for each one, announce it on X. We're going to go live with another NXT Rewind that night, announce the winners live. So definitely tune in for that. We'll announce them on X, and then yeah, just hit us up, and we'll send you that money over. You can get ready for some early access after you get that. So definitely check out X for that. It's our pinned tweet. It'll tell you how to enter. Real easy, real simple. We have a lot of entrants so far. We have over 150 entrants so far. But all it takes is one entry. Like I said, you got 4 chances to win. Whether it's the basic or all the way up to the deluxe. It's going to be good. So with that being said, guys, like I said, tune in tomorrow for me and Matt Trigger for our Elimination Chamber prediction show. Talking everything about the chambers and what the results of those matches will be moving into WrestleMania as we hit the road after Chicago. So that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Much appreciated. I'm John Anthony. Talk to you guys soon.